What's up, y'all?
This is Beyond 21
With KateLynn
and Kallie.
and this is the Beyond 21 uncut version for YouTube.
Uncut.
So that means unhinged and crazy.
All the action, all the mess ups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, this is our very first YouTube video right here. So, you can listen here and then listen on the podcast on audio only. But this one will be a little different because this intro will not be on the podcast.
But also, you can see our facial reactions while we're doing this podcast. Like, you don't get that through audio. Some of the things that KateLynn says, I'm just like,
She just gives me a look of just pure, what are you talking about?
or if we laugh, you know, like, you can see actually that it's not like fake or anything. Like, we're laughing.
Yeah. And for this podcast, maybe this episode won't be as funny because we're obviously, this is our first episode and it's kind of a serious topic. But later on, when we start getting into the funnier episodes and we start getting my husband and her fiance on, those two dudes are hilarious, and to watch them
Well,
is
also,
hilarious.
I will say we're going to do like some tortilla slap challenges. Like, we're going to do all kinds of stuff like that. So this is where you can get that kind of action.
Yeah, so you're not only going to be getting our video podcast, you're going to be getting funny videos, lots of stuff with them involved, and you may even get to see us in a badminton tournament announcing it this summer.
That would be cool.
Maybe. We'll talk about that later. So please enjoy this episode. And
Enjoy the blooper at the end because
Yeah.
I had no clue what we were doing earlier.
Yeah, enjoy the blooper. So yeah. What else? You have anything else?
Just listen up, watch it.
Watch, subscribe, comment, leave us a good review so that we can get lots of people on here.
You said that at the end too.
Did I say that at the end?
Yep.
Well, this is the beginning, so how did I say it at the end?
Exactly.
Guess you guys will find out at the end.
So today we are talking about KateLynn's pregnancy journey. So she's going to give us first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, everything, talking about all events in the pregnancy world.
Yeah. So let's start off with, first off, do you have any questions that you want to ask me before I start getting into this? Because it is a roller coaster.
I'll probably just ask as you go along.
Okay, well, just feel free to interrupt me.
I will.
So to start off, when you decide you want to have a baby, that's kind of like a big ordeal. So, you know, it wasn't taken lightly at all by me and Blake because we knew our lives were going to change because we had some friends that had babies and, you know, they weren't able to do the same things that they were before. So I remember the day that we decided we were going to have one. I was out with my friend Tori. Shout out to you, Tori, if you're out there watching. She had gotten pregnant a few months before me. And we were out with her. I was out with her and her mom. We went to Kennesaw, Georgia. And we were looking for I think a crib and like a changing table and stuff like that. She was going to start on the nursery. And they had already found out they were having a girl. So I remember just how exciting that was for her. And I was like, you know, this kind of makes me want to have one myself. Like, and I had already like wanted one, but Blake wasn't ready yet. So I was just like, you know, like, I just see how much like fun this is, and like, I don't know if that was like a dumb reason or whatever, but I was like, you know, I think I'm ready or whatever.
So did you, because I know for a long time, like, when mama or somebody would ask you, when are you gonna have a baby or whatever, and you said, I don't want one right now, was that you that didn't want one at that time, or was that Blake and you just said that?
No, that was really just, I wanted everybody off my back.
Okay.
I did want one, but I didn't want y'all to know that I wanted one.
If you let them know that you're wanting one, then they know.
Yeah, I felt like everybody was going to pressure me if they knew that I was ready to have one. So I didn't really want to do that. So anyway, I try to keep that on the DL as much as I could. So we got home that night from going to Kennesaw with Tori, and Blake was at home with one of our other friends, Grant. They were hanging out or whatever, and I had ball because, you know, I had that little chest I was putting like just gender neutral baby clothes in. If I liked something, I would buy some stuff, and so I was trying to like go ahead and have a couple gender neutral things in case you know, I had a girl or a boy. So I came home and I was showing Blake all that stuff, and I was like, I really do like want a baby, and he was like, okay, and like he was like, I do too, and I was like, what?
Did you like get all excited like really quick? You're like, really?
Yeah, and I was like, is he serious? Like, because I figured he'd just be like, no, not yet, And then I was like, oh, and so then I felt like I was kind of backstepping because I was like, oh my gosh, like
this is real.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was in October. We tried. We didn't get pregnant. I didn't find out I was pregnant in November. I didn't find out I was pregnant in December. And then our aunt died. And then I just had that feeling like, I was like, I feel like I'm going to end up being pregnant. Like, I'm going to find out in a few weeks. And I did. Mm-hmm. It was about a month after I found out, or a month after Aunt Nelda died, that I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, they say when you lose a family member, you gain another one.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like, she had like kind of handpicked that baby, like helped handpick that baby for me.
Yeah.
And so it took about 2.5 months or so. And then I remember, like, when I found out, it was, I hadn't missed a period or anything. I just it was 2 days, a day after my birthday. 2 days after we went and ate for my birthday. And the reason why I say that is because we went to that go-kart track in Oxford. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were in that room having to do that little
introduction video.
Yeah, and you turned to me and was joking, was like, hi, you can't get on the go-karts because you're pregnant. She had no idea that I was pregnant. I had no idea I was pregnant. We all laughed and went on about it.
But she looked so scared. Like, I know she didn't know, but she looked scared to death. Like, I had just revealed her biggest secret. And at the same time, like, I was honestly, like, I didn't actually think she was pregnant, but I was hoping in saying that she was pregnant, and that's how she was going to tell me after that, because she can't lie to me. If she does lie to me, she feels guilty about it, comes back immediately. And
Can we just talk about
Yeah, okay, so the reason I say that, we were playing Fortnite the other day.
For those of you out there that don't know, we are like Fortnite junkies. Yeah. So if you want to send us anything in the mail, we accept V-Bucks.
I need all the emotes, all the skins.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were playing Fortnite the other day, and I had Montee's Enforcer, and I died. Okay, we got in a big battle. It was the 4 of us playing. Me,
this
KateLynn,
is like
Blake,
a super like mythic gun, like one of the best guns you can get on the game. Yeah. There's only one of them.
And so I had it, but I was trying to defend everybody, and I got tagged by like 3 different people that like they were all surrounding me, and I died. And so Blake was the only one left. Was he not?
He revived. No, I was the only one left.
Oh, KateLynn was the only one left.
And
that's
I had
right.
like 2 health left.
And she had to kill the guys. Yeah. She had to kill the other 2 guys because everybody was down except for this one guy, or either dead.
No, Blake wasn't dead either. He was just up on the hill.
No, I'm saying everybody on the other team was either dead or down, and except for one guy, and he was trying to revive a guy. So we were like, "Hey, go around. He's around the corner." And so she goes and she kills him. Well, then I told everybody, because like when we got rebooted, I was like, "Do not drop back down on my stuff. Like that pile is mine." I literally watched Blake pick up my gun. Okay,
by accident,
and run away with it. And I started getting angry, okay, because I don't like when people take my stuff. I don't care if I died or not. Like, I was defending everybody, okay? I did my best. I had everybody white, like, and then I died, okay? I just wanted my stuff back. So Blake picked up my gun. Well, then
we get in a pile to do the Flowberry Fizz.
We get in a pile to do the Flowberry Fizz.
And I was the one that did the Flowberry Fizz.
Yeah.
And everybody can get under it. And so when it ran out, Blake had just happened to drop Callie's gun. I didn't know that I had picked it up because I had the purple Nemesis from on the hill that I wanted. And when she was like screaming at everybody, "Where's my gun?" I didn't know I had it.
Because let me just go ahead and say, people have done that before, that they take my guns because they know it irritates me.
Shout out to you, Hunter.
And they like to just hear me.
Just call him out. You don't have to call him a they. Just call him out. It's
Hunter. Blake could do it too sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And especially after what happened. So anyways, long story short, We run around the whole game. I literally made Blake and Hunter drop their whole inventory to show me that they did not have my gun.
But first, before I knew that I had your gun, I gave you my nemesis.
Yeah.
Because you were griping about it so much.
KateLynn did. She gave me her purple nemesis because I complained so much about my gun being gone. But I didn't make KateLynn drop her inventory because I thought she ain't got it. She wouldn't do that to me.
Because I had already said I don't have it, and I didn't realize that I actually did because I wasn't really paying attention. I was like still trying to loot around.
So we get on Loot Island, and KateLynn's like, "Oh, Kallie, here's you a gold gun." She literally went up there on loot by herself to go find me a gun. And she gives me that gold gun. And then she picks up her purple nemesis. Okay. So she's got a gold AR and a purple nemesis now.
And, 2 ARs.
And so we get to the very end of the game. I'm dead. Blake's dead. KateLynn and Hunter are the only ones left. And Hunter is shooting these people by himself. And Hunter's like, "KateLynn, where you at?" And KateLynn ran toward the storm to go drop my gun in the storm so that I didn't see it in her loadout. After I died. When she knew I died, she changed.
I didn't want you to be mad at me for lying to you because I didn't mean to lie to you at first, but I had to after the fact. I couldn't go back because then I was like, she'll never trust me again.
So, fast forward to the next day, and this is starting to be the worst day of my life. I'm so stressed out after everything that's going on. And she calls to tell me, "Kallie, I just can't stand it anymore. I was sick at my stomach all night. I thought about it all day. I've just been sick at my stomach. I just got to tell you the truth."
You're acting like I said it in a bad way, but
no.
Really
she
felt bad.
I know. She did feel bad, and I felt that she felt bad. And she said, "But I'm thinking she's done something wrong, okay?" She's like, I've been sick at my stomach all day. Like, I feel terrible for lying to you. And I'm just like, what happened? And she said, "I did have your gun last night on Fortnite." And I was like, really? I was like, after I defended you and said that you would never do that to me, I'll be danged if you lied to me about it. Just trying to jokingly make her feel bad about it. But anyway, yeah, she couldn't keep that a secret much longer, and I was like, "KateLynn, it's really not that big of a deal. It just irritated me last night."
Yeah, and so that's why. How did we even get on that subject?
You can't lie to me. So
that's right. I feel bad for lying to you.
So I was trying to get her to tell me the truth if she was actually pregnant or not, but she didn't know, so she wouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't know. So we did all that, and I rode the go-karts, and guess what? I did not bust my amniotic sac with my very, very tiny 4-week
bean-sized baby.
Probably smaller than that. 4-week in the womb.
Do you think that if you had known you were pregnant, would you have told me right then?
If I would have,
or would you have told me?
If I would have known I was pregnant, I would not have even went and got on the go-karts because
what would have been your excuse?
I wouldn't have even said, "Let's go ride go-karts."
Oh,
I wouldn't have even got to the location.
Okay.
So, and then the next day was my birthday. I went out with my friend Abby. I just didn't feel right all day. I felt really strange. Like, I didn't feel like myself, but I didn't feel sick. So I was just like, something's weird, So the next morning I woke up and I was like, well, I'll just take a test, just see what's going on this month. And the little pink, faint, double pink lines came in, and I was like, oh, that. And then I was like kind of scared. So I told Blake, I hollered in there to Blake, and I was like, hey, come here for a minute. And he wouldn't get out of bed. And I had hollered at him 2 or 3 times to come in there, and he wouldn't get out of bed. So I was like, well, you know what, whatever. So I did not tell him that morning when I found out.
Did that hurt your feelings?
It did hurt my feelings that he didn't get up to come and look. So I went on to Abby's bridal tea that she was having, and it was so weird because I was with Mama and Abby, and I wanted to tell them both, but I could not say anything because I was like, the line was so faint that I was like scared that it wasn't real. So I didn't want to say anything. And then we got home and I told Blake to come in the bathroom, and I handed him the little strip. And it was just a little strip about this long for those of you out there that are watching the video podcast. Tiny little strip, and it said, it had the brand name on it, and it said Pregable on it. He goes, Pregable? He had no idea what was going on. Like, he didn't know that I was pregnant. He goes, he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It says that I'm pregnant." And he goes, "No, it doesn't." And he didn't believe me. And so we had to go to Walmart and buy like a pack of 5. And he wanted one of the digital ones so that he could make sure he was knowing that it said in plain writing that I was pregnant.
Okay.
So
now KateLynn is going to get into her first trimester and all the feelings and energy that goes into that.
Which is not very many because not very
many energy.
No, not many energies. Lots of puking, lots of feeling miserable, lots of just feeling like garbage. 10 out of 10 do not recommend first trimester to anyone out there.
Although you have to get through the first to get to the third. So.
Yeah, so, but that's how it is. So first things first, I found out when I was 4 weeks. So my naive butt thought that, oh, well, since I'm not throwing up right now,
I won't throw up at all.
Well, guess what? God said,
her throwed up a lot.
Yeah, and God said, nah, that ain't how it's gonna be, fam. Yeah, so God just laughed and he said, she shall throw up anyways. And I did. And that was fun. No, not really, because I hated being sick. I'd never really gotten sick. Like, I threw up maybe 5 times in my life that I could remember.
Mm-hmm.
And so, doing it every day, multiple times a day, and on top of that, not being able to eat, I felt like I had a stomach bug for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And like, I just felt miserable. And the worst part of it wasn't the throwing up. It was the feeling nauseous all day. The throwing up, I would feel better. Yeah, I would feel better after I threw up. But since I hated throwing up, so I mean, honestly, like,
it was a dread the whole time.
You people out there that can go stick your finger down your throat
and make yourself
throw up.
Kudos to you, but that is sick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm talking like, and I'm not talking people that have like eating disorders and stuff like that. I'm talking about people that like can go out here and drink and get so wasted that they have to make themselves throw up to feel better or drink more. Okay, good for y'all, because I simply could not.
I ain't making myself throw up. I'll sit there and suffer.
That's how bad I hate throwing up.
I literally took a nap one day. I felt so sick in my stomach one morning. I think it was when I had the flu. And I felt nauseous when I woke up that morning. And I thought, no, I'm going back to bed because I will not throw up.
Like, and I get like embarrassed. And so throwing up when Blake was even inside of the house, like, I would shut our bedroom door and then shut the bathroom door so that he couldn't hear me, because I was so self-conscious about him hearing me throw up. And I think it was because I used to, like, I could hear Mama throwing up when she would in the mornings, and I felt bad for her, and so I didn't want him to feel bad for me hearing me throw up, because Blake can throw up silently. You'll never hear him gag. But then I'm in there, like, dry heaving and gagging, and everybody in the world can hear me. So that was terrible.
I've only ever seen Hunter throw up
that one time in my yard.
No, I've seen him do it twice. One night we were driving with his parents somewhere in Center, and he was like, I gotta get out. And he threw up just a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like
in my yard that
night.
It
was just, no. And like, he's never seen me throw up, ever. Anytime I've ever thrown up since when we've been together, he's never been there.
Blake never saw me throw up.
Well, he's never heard it either.
So. Well, I don't think he heard it, because he'd be playing Fortnite, and I'd be like, did you hear me in there throwing up? And he'd be like, no, I didn't hear you. I had the headset in. I didn't hear you. And I was like, I know he heard me. Like, I was so stressed about that. But,
did he ever, like, offer to help? Like, get you a rag or something? He did,
and I was just like, no, please stay away from me. Like, I was like, I don't want you to see me like this.
Yeah.
Like, I was at my most vulnerable, and I just could not stand for him to see me that way. And I know it wouldn't have bothered him. It was me. I was the one that was embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 16 weeks. I threw up, which was, oh man, it was terrible. But it started getting better. Like, it wasn't, I didn't throw up as many times a day and as frequently and as much towards the end of those 16 weeks as I did at the beginning of them. And those were the longest 16 weeks of my life. And then how I felt as far as, like, mentally, I was miserable. And before any of you haters out there want to say,
You shouldn't be miserable because you've been blessed with a baby.
yeah, you should be grateful that you're pregnant. I was very grateful I was pregnant.
But the toll that it
But
took on you was
I
terrible.
was not, it wasn't normal for me to feel that way. And I was so tired. Like, I had absolutely no energy, no desire to eat. I just felt like I was slowly dying. I was just trying to get by and survive. Like, I think I lived off of chocolate milk, Dr. Pepper, and extra flavor goldfish, like the extra cheddar
I love
goldfish,
those. Yeah.
for those whole 16 weeks. Like, I couldn't have the foods that I normally liked. And so I felt like my morale was like completely like shattered. Like, I had no desire to do anything. Like, I went to work every day and I was just like a walking ball of miserable.
Yeah.
And like, I hated when people came up to me and was like, "You should just be glad that you're pregnant." And I'm like, "You should just be glad that I don't smack you across the face right now for being hateful towards me because I feel like crap."
Well, and let me say,
And I didn't know what to expect.
Let me
So it was
say-
like a shock to my normal everyday like living. You
yeah.
know?
So in defense for KateLynn, like, I feel like it'd be one thing for me to get pregnant and get sick and feel miserable all the time. I mean, like, I'm not dissing on anybody that says they feel miserable because, I mean, I'm sure it does feel miserable. But I'm sick all the time. I feel nauseous all the time. Anyway, because like I'll get migraines or like whatever. And I mean, if I'm in the car with somebody, which is at least once or twice a day, I will feel nauseous because I get car sick. So that's normal for me to feel that way, and I get through it because I just know how it feels on a daily basis. But for KateLynn, being such a healthy child and growing up all the way up into her adulthood and still hardly ever getting sick, like, that is such a big change for her that she's not used to being sick. So it takes a different effect on her than it would maybe for me.
And people just like devalued my feelings. Like, they
Yeah.
were just acted like my feelings weren't valid for me to feel. And it hurt my feelings and it made me feel guilty because I'm the type of person, if you tell me you should feel bad about that, I
You
will think
will.
about it so much that I will end up feeling bad, even if I really shouldn't have felt bad about
I
it.
understand that.
So, going from being super, super healthy, super active, and then going to, I feel miserable. I can't even do anything except for lay here and like sleep. Like, when I got off of work,
You would take a nap?
I had to sleep
Mhm.
because I was so tired and I couldn't understand why I was so tired because I was like, I didn't do any strenuous, like, hard labor at work. Like, why am I so exhausted?
Mhm.
And so, and of course, I never knew this stuff because I'd never talked to anybody about pregnancy. Like, my friend Tori wasn't sick. She didn't throw up. She wasn't super, super tired. Like, she didn't have the same type of experience that I did. So, me talking to her, I was expecting to get the same thing she got.
Mhm.
And I didn't. So, I remember calling and making my very first appointment at the doctor's
I
office.
thought you said I remember calling, and I was like, who's calling?
No, calling.
Calling. Like this.
Ring, ring. So I remember doing that, and they scheduled my appointment for February 17th. So, for those of you out there watching, we've already passed that date and listening.
Are you done?
Do what?
It's not February 17th.
It's not today, but the people listening and watching, by the time, it'll be March by the time they hear this.
Oh, my bad.
This is being recorded in February, guys.
February 10th.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyways, seeing that, like, going in there and like thinking they were going to do an ultrasound, like one with the little wand that they put on your belly on the outside. I didn't know they were going to stick one up inside of me. That was strange, weird. Blake was like, "Oh my gosh, is that the thing?" For those of you out there that know what I'm talking about, those sonography things, those wand. I mean, it's like a wand.
Did
like,
you
and
jump?
No, I didn't jump. It didn't hurt, but I thought it would.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt though. It doesn't hurt, people. It's okay.
It
Don't
doesn't
freak
hurt,
out. It
but
does
it
not
is
hurt. It's strange.
strange.
But if you can do what you got to do to get the baby there, you can do that. So, sorry for being graphic.
It's not really even. All right, moving on.
And I was so scared that there wouldn't be a heartbeat there because I was like, surely I have not ate enough to provide for this baby. Like, I was like, and of course I had people telling me, "You're not eating enough. you should be eating more when I physically couldn't eat anymore. I was trying my best. Of course, the baby was only like tiny, tiny, like probably not even, couldn't even probably see it with the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
So strong heartbeat in the 160 somethings. Like I think it was 168.
It was.
Was it? And they were like, "Oh, that sometimes means it's a girl." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Dang it." At that point in time, I was, just kind of whatever about whatever I got. I didn't care. And then me and Blake talked about it, and Blake was like, "I think it's a boy." So he got me wanting a boy because I thought she was a girl to
Before he
begin
said
with.
that.
Yeah, I thought it was a girl. But then
Like,
he
did you
kind of
feel that, or did you just think
no,
that?
I just thought I think it's a girl. I don't know. It just came in my mind it was a girl.
Okay.
Even though the ring thing Mama did on me said it would be a boy.
Did it?
It did.
Oh.
Every time she did it on me, it said it would be a boy.
I wonder if it'll show different now.
It may. I don't know. We'll have to get her to do it. So anyway, we went and we did at 12 weeks we went and did our gender reveal. Well, it's called a sneak peek. So you can go down there in Cartersville and there's a lady that does ultrasounds and then she will take your blood for the sneak peek test. And it's an early gender test. Sometimes it's wrong. Nothing's 100%. But she took that and she was looking at her and she looked like a little shrimp. She had little
legs.
No, she didn't have legs yet.
No,
it was all like still one. It was like a little tail.
Nose.
She had little arm buds, is what they call them.
Yeah.
She looked like a little, I don't know, like Nemo, like the little fins on the side. And I remember that picture, and I was just like, and she was like turning flips.
Did you think that
in
was
there?
cute?
It's just round and round and round, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how can something so small? I don't know what comparison of a fruit or whatever she was, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like she's so tiny. Well, I didn't know she was a she then, but I was like, it's so tiny. So, and then that weekend we were having our gender reveal on St. Patrick's Day because I'm a big time St. Patrick's Day freak.
It wasn't on St. Patrick's Day. It was the 19th.
I know, but it was a St. Patrick's Day party.
And
we announced it on St. Patrick's Day.
She announced that they were pregnant on St. Patrick's Day. So everybody was keeping this secret for like 2 months.
Yeah, because I told everybody in the end of January. So, oh, and before I even do that, the way that we told my family, I had bought some little polymer clay pieces of bread, and they had a note stuck in them in a box that says "Bun in the oven," and the note said, "Do you still have yours?" Okay, we'll take a picture of it and post it on our Instagram when this episode drops so everybody can see it. But everybody's note was different. Like Kallie had a different note than Carly. And then Mom and Daddy both had a different note that had their aunt or their grandparent names on it or whatever. And it just said, "Bun in the oven. Can't wait for you to see baby Gossett." Something. It didn't say that? I can't remember. I ordered them right after me and Blake started trying to have a baby. It just said,
when you opened the box, it said "Bun in the oven," and it showed the little piece of bread. The little
the little piece of bread.
The little piece of bread had a note in it, and you get the note out and you unroll it, and it said, "You're gonna be an aunt, or you're gonna be the best aunt."
Oh,
Mine
okay.
and Carly said the same thing because we're both aunts, and then
I thought they
and
had
Hagen said uncles, and then Mom and Daddy said grandparents or something.
Okay. And then Mom and Daddy
said great grandparents.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, Blake's family had already had a bunch of grandkids, so we didn't do anything special because it wasn't their first grandchild. So, we just gave them a card. And then at the gender reveal, we had it was like Lucky Charms. Mm-hmm. Like it was our Lucky Charm or whatever. And Abby made our banner and had all these different Lucky Charm marshmallows on it. And then Kendall and Abby were my gender keepers. So they filled the balloon up. And Blake had the balloon taped onto his target, and he shot the balloon with his crossbow. And lo and behold, pink powder came out. And my heart shattered right there in front of me. Like, I was like, oh no, like, what am I going to do with a girl? I don't even know how to be a girl myself. How am I going to take care and raise a girl that is a girl and not a tomboy? That's what I was so scared of, is that she would be like me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to do hair. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh my gosh, KateLynn, I can do her hair.
But at that time, I didn't think about that. And it took about an hour for me to adjust. And I was like, actually, I have a ton of Barbies at home. She'll probably like playing house and playing with kitchens,
And you
little
get to
baby
do that all
kitchens.
over again.
Yeah, and I enjoyed like
Dude,
me
I
and
would
Kallie.
still drag out the Barbies today and play with them.
I swear, me and Kallie were playing with Barbies like
When I
all
was 16.
into high school because Carly still played with them, and that gave us a good excuse to play with them. And like we loved Barbies. I still love Barbies. So I can't wait for the little girl to. I'm not mentioning her name here, people.
I thought you already have.
No, I have not mentioned her name. The little girl to enjoy playing Barbies with us. Actually, we'll be playing Barbies with her, but she'll really be playing Barbies with us because we'll be running the show.
Yeah.
So at the time, the due date was set for September 30th. So that was the end of my first trimester, and let's get into the second one.
So Caitlin's going to get into her second trimester now.
Okay. So, second trimester, not a lot happened in the second trimester. My energy levels started coming back up. And I'm talking like up higher than they were before I got pregnant. I was cleaning everything in sight. Like once I stopped having to take
too
a
much
nap.
energy.
Oh yeah, like crackhead energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because your hormones even back out afterwards. The whole reason why you're tired in the first trimester, anyways, because of hormones, not because you're actually tired. Well, and also like your body's like making a home for a baby that's going to live there for a long time. So, you have to have those hormones. And after I read on it, I understood better, and I didn't feel as bad. Like, I felt bad for the people at my work because I was like, I feel like I'm skipping out on them and not being able to work, and I feel like crap, and I feel like they're going to fire me, which they were not going to.
Well, they couldn't anyway. They get a lawsuit for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They can't fire you because you're pregnant.
Well, they didn't know I was pregnant though.
Oh,
they didn't know yet.
Well,
the reason why I was like, yeah. So, anyways, energy level shot through the roof. I was like on crackhead energy. I didn't throw up anymore. I could start eating a little bit more, but I still had the food aversions. So the foods that I liked before that then I had already thrown up, I could not eat them anymore because I was like, I gotta stay. Especially like me and Blake make some killer chicken tacos. We came up with the recipe on our own, and I got sick one night off of those, and like the rest of my pregnancy and up until about a month and a half ago, I could not eat chicken tacos because I couldn't do it. So at that point in time, I'm getting like really excited, really just, stoked, trying to figure out like what theme I want to do for the nursery, what like products I need to buy, getting excited for like the baby showers and stuff. And I actually think in my second trimester, we had that very first baby shower. We had 2 baby showers. One of them, Kallie and Mama did for us here at home.
No, you were big pregnant then.
No, I wasn't. It was in the summer.
Sure. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You were bigger then, though. So, you started getting your belly.
It was in June.
Your bump. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was in June.
You're right.
So I was still in the second trimester. I was 20-something weeks, anyway. Ended up doing that baby shower, which I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Picked a nursery theme, finally. I wanted to do, like, what do you call it? It was called Butterfly Collector. Butterfly. I'm sorry, I said that weird.
I didn't think you did.
Oh, I thought it came out weird.
Mm.
And I'm not talking, like, cartoon butterflies. I'm talking, like...
real butterflies.
Real butterflies, like, what do they call them? I don't know. The scientists that go out and they study butterflies. Oh, my stomach just growled. Sorry if that got caught on camera.
If you would have gave me a second, I would have took the blame for that so you didn't get so embarrassed.
I didn't get embarrassed. Okay. I don't care. Anyway, so the scientists that like study butterflies and they draw them in their little books or whatever, they were butterflies like that, like very pretty, like drawn butterflies. I actually found a website, not a sponsor, Clementine Kids. They had the butterfly collection. They had the quilt, the crib sheets, there was something else they had. I can't even think now. I had all 3 pieces. Oh, and the swaddle blanket. Beautiful pieces. And then we kind of just went on with that. Finally bought the crib, put the crib together. Blake put the dresser together, and that we like did one of those recordings and it took and sped it up. It took 4 hours to put that dresser together, and it took about 10 minutes to put the crib together.
Hey, I was there for that.
You were there for that
because I was in the little video. We were playing with all the food that she had all of the baby. Hold on, the plastic play food.
Yeah, because I already had a play kitchen because one of our friends that had a baby before us, she came over to the house a lot, and so me and Blake bought a play kitchen so when she was there she could play with it. And
not the friend's baby.
The friend's baby, yeah. So we bought all that play food because we didn't have a ton. So I think it was like $15, and it was like a big old sack full of play food. So me and Kallie were organizing it, and we were kind of playing with it a little bit too.
We were.
So then we had the 20-week anatomy scan. That is one of the biggest things in your pregnancy is your anatomy scan, where they look and make sure that the baby has
5 fingers, 5
toes. They can see the baby's like organs. They're trying to make sure they're developing right, looking at the brain, their face, and like you get super cute like side profiles and like full body like side profiles.
I just want to point out, I meant 5 fingers, 5 toes on each hand and foot. I don't want people to think that I just think there's only 5
of each finger and toe.
Do you think that the you can go back to describing how the anatomy scan was, but do you think that the second trimester is more of like a honeymoon phase for your pregnancy? Because it's just like the happy medium.
It's like you're not huge. You're getting a little bump. You're not huge. You're still like in that area where people can't tell you're pregnant. They couldn't tell I was pregnant. Mine just came all of a sudden. Like it was one day I didn't have a bump, and then the next day it was like I did. And then that's where people start like trying to touch you and stuff. And like I had a big issue. Like I didn't want people touching me anyways. And then the fact that random strangers would come up and try to touch me, that made me mad. And I was just like, don't touch me. Like I didn't want anybody to touch me except for Blake. Like nobody. I didn't want my friends touching me. I didn't want Mama touching me. I didn't want you touching me. Like nobody. Like,
I don't think I ever touched. She told me that I could poke it sometimes. Like she would
that
be
was
like,
"Hey,
feel her moving."
Yeah,
and
right
then
there at the very
I would
end.
poke, but I never like put my hand on her.
Yeah,
stomach.
people would like rub it and stuff like that. Made me
this
feel
is not
so
a pet.
uncomfortable.
Please stop touching it.
Yeah, like I didn't want people petting me because I was like, y'all aren't petting her, you're petting me, and that's weird. But that's just me being weird. Anyway, so a little PSA for y'all out there that are listening: please stop touching pregnant women's bellies.
Or if you're gonna touch it, please ask.
Yeah, please ask. Like if you're gonna touch it, like ask them
Don't
if that's
just
okay.
bust their personal bubble, okay?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're not pregnant and I was to come up to you and start rubbing your stomach, how would that make you feel?
Right.
Gross. It'd make you feel gross. Like, so don't do it, please. Anyway, so the anatomy scan, everything was great. She was already head down, and I know they rotate in there, so
she was totally in the clear yet, but
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. She was breech before that, but then she was head down after that, so we were all good on that. And then we had to do that sugar test, your gestational diabetes test, where they make you drink that sugar drink. People will make you feel like that is the worst thing on the planet, and it is gross. It's not the most tasty drink on the planet. It's just really sweet and like thick, and it's gross. But I did it in like 15 seconds. I just turned it up and chugged it.
How big is it?
It's ice cold. Probably about half of the size of this bottle.
Okay. So here we are.
It's a little skinnier than that, about half of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad, and they give you like a fruit punch, and it does taste like fruit punch. It's just really sweet. But if you just
too much syrup in it.
Yeah, if you just like chug it real quick, it will go down. And some people do throw up afterwards if they're not used to a lot of sugar, but because I drink like a bunch of Dr. Pepper and stuff, it didn't bother me at all. Like I was like fine. And then you get your blood drawn, and if nothing comes up, then you do not most likely have gestational diabetes. So that's a big thing. I'm trying to think of some other like big tests that are very important. But
do the doctors tell you about these tests?
No, I learned from TikTok and they scared me. TikTok scared me. One thing I was not scared about from the very beginning, actually, before I go in the first trimester, on the day of my gender reveal, my friend Tori, that I was telling y'all about earlier, had her baby. At the same time, we were shooting the balloon to find out what our baby was. So, at this point in my pregnancy, in the second trimester, Tori had already had her baby. And she had told me how, like, good it was, like, a good experience she had, which she was a labor and delivery nurse at the hospital that she gave birth at. So, she had a good experience. And her mom, that is my coworker, Stacy, had, been in the delivery room, and Tori had asked her to video, like, from the side, not of her private area and anything like that. But Stacy had come to work and she was like, "Look, I just want you to not be scared. This was Tori's experience. There was no screaming, no hollering. They were laughing. They were having a good time. Like, it was a happy, non-stressful moment. And I'm not trying to take away from anybody else's experiences, because I know people do have bad experiences. Some people that don't want to take the epidural will scream and holler because that's a natural way of releasing that pain. But Tori did get the epidural, and I was planning on getting the epidural, and Stacy was like, "Listen, don't be scared. This is how it was." So she kind of eased my mind about that. So at that point, after Tori had had her baby, and I'd seen that video, I was like, "Okay, there's no need for me to. Let's worry about something else. Let's worry about keeping the baby from getting sick." That's what I was most worried about. So then on to the baby shower. Well, that'll be the last part of the second trimester. The first baby shower. We did it here at Mom and Daddy's house. We had like a little beach luau theme, and the name of the theme was Surfs Up. Wait,
don't ask me.
Baby on Board. That's what it was. We had surfboards and stuff. I painted all the surfboards, big old cardboard surfboards, and then tiki totem poles.
That was actually so hard to orchestrate because everything was going against us that day. We didn't have as many decorations as we thought we did. So we ran to the dollar store that morning on top of trying to still clean everything in the house and outside. And we had to run to the dollar store and get all that stuff. The wind was blowing crazy, so it was hard to put the tablecloths down and like tape things up or whatever. And then it started to sprinkle, and we were like, "You got to be joking with me."
It always sprinkles every time we have a party around these parts. It sprinkles or rains every time. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. We'll do that on another episode.
I thought we already talked about that.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it was a COVID
episode, yeah.
So I'm so glad that I'd only been on like 5 hours of sleep, because I stayed up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning making the cupcakes for this thing, because they were like super cute, but they took super long to
cute little, had graham crackers on them.
I got a video. I showed somebody
okay,
the other
we'll post
day,
it on Instagram with the rest of the stuff from this episode.
But it was very cute, but I'm definitely glad that I made them that night instead of thinking that I could make them.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Just hit my hand or my arm on the table, but
heard that.
Popped off with a high five anyway.
High five. By the way, KateLynn gives the best high fives. So if you see her out and about, give her a high five.
Yeah.
Kind of need to be going. I see the battery.
Okay. Anyway, so did that, had a great shower, had all of our friends here. It was just a friend shower, and got a ton of stuff for the baby. And now we're going to wrap it up and get into the third trimester. Alright, so on to the next. Had our other baby shower at the beginning of August. Before that, me and Blake had went on our last beach trip, just the two of us.
A baby moon.
Yeah, we had a little baby moon at the beach. It was fabulous. We had a great time. Got to let the bump tan. So me and Blake sat out in the sun, and that's why she came out with such a great complexion.
She was so tan.
Because I tanned her when... No, I'm just kidding. That's our little running joke.
So tan, and now she's so white like Blake.
Yeah. Don't worry, that'll come back in the summer, just like mine. Anyway, so we had our baby shower right after that. at the church. Chrissy McRae, shout out to you if you're out there listening. You and the WMU ladies threw a bomb shower. I mean, it was
cute.
It was so cute, 70s theme, like retro.
I know, it was
She had records with Haley. I said her name. Her name's Halen, just for all you guys know.
I already said it before.
I was trying to keep her privacy private. But her name's Halen, like Van Halen. So anyway, spelled the same. She had her name on the records. It was so cute. So cute, as Kallie says.
Because it's so cute.
Yeah. And then people started coming up to me, just wait till she wakes up all night long. Just wait till
trying to be
blah,
negative.
blah, blah, blah. Yes, negative. People, stop
discouraging
these stupid, mean just waits. Like, just wait till they laugh for the first time. Just wait till they look at you and they know who you are for the like, why?
Why do
you have to be so negative and
yeah.
discouraging? Just wait till they keep you up all night long. It's like they want you to be miserable like they were. And let me just say,
if you say you're miserable, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all about throwing off on you when you're sick and miserable in the first trimester, and in the third trimester they're like, just wait till they keep you up all night. Just wait till they you can't figure out what they're crying
just
for.
Wait till they keep you up.
Hey, guess what? For all of you out there, you were right. That stuff did happen. But you know what? It's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Honestly,
when you can't figure out why they're crying, time marches on.
So I just want to say this real quick. I took care of Halen yesterday for the first time, like, all day. Like, I had her for like full 8 hours, maybe a little bit more. And she did cry, and like, I mean, for no reason. Like, I did everything I was supposed to do. But when I think about yesterday of me taking care of her, I think about how much she laughed and how much she smiled. Like, I don't think about how much she cried or, got upset. Like, I think about what made her happy.
That kind of stuff. Like, and at the moment, it is very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It is very irritating. But when the day is done and they're over that little spell, and they laugh at you or they look at you and you can tell how much they
just
love you
in your arms.
Yeah,
just so comfy.
It was so worth it. It is worth all of that because they're babies. That's the only way they can express themselves and tell them, communicate with you. Is by crying. So I mean, that's their way of saying stuff. So negative Nancy's out there that want to just give you the bad just waits. Please stop doing that. That's annoying. Also, please stop talking about people's bodies.
What do you mean?
Like, I had a guy come up to me. He said, my wife was about your size and now look at her. After she had... First of all, you shouldn't be talking about your wife like that. And second of all, that hurt my feelings because I was like...
Because he's pretty much saying, just wait till you get fat one day.
Yeah, and it made me sad because I was like, I'm not going to get my body back. Like, I was already like feeling weird about not being able to... I normally wear like a size small shirt, and I was wearing larges because my belly was sticking out so far. And I just felt so awkward. Like, people don't mind to tell you you've gotten big. And like, I knew. I mean, that's how it is when you're pregnant. You're going to get bigger. But like, people don't have to like body shame you.
Yeah.
People don't have to comment on your body, period. And like, people need to stop that. That's
because
really
why do you treat pregnant women differently? Like, they're still the same person that they were. They just got another person growing inside of them. But at the same time, like, why would you call out a pregnant woman about getting bigger, but you wouldn't call out a woman that's not pregnant about getting big? Like, why would you? Well, why don't you just keep your mouth shut in general?
Yeah, just don't comment on people's bodies. That's what we need to stop doing. I'm tired of hearing that. And even like people that are skinny, like we are, like, stop saying you're so skinny. Like,
yeah, I hate hearing that too.
Stop commenting on
because
people's
first
bodies.
Of all, I know it's a compliment to say that, but first of all, you don't see what I see when I start to get in the shower because I'm not as skinny as people think I am, and I don't.
But also,
people
are self-conscious about being skinny. One of Blake's friends that's like tiny, he hates when people call him skinny because it makes him so self-conscious.
Really?
Yeah, and like just stop commenting on people's bodies, and I'm moving on from that. Contractions. They ask you every time you go to the doctor's office, are you having contractions that last few weeks? And I'm like, I don't know what contractions feel like. Just let me tell you guys, they feel like a little bit of poop cramps, a little bit of period cramps. and you
Mix.
put those two mixed together.
That's a contraction.
That's a contraction. So now you know. We did a 4D ultrasound. You got to go to that. They got to see her. She was trying to hide, but we got a couple of pictures. She looked like a little turtle in that one picture, the way her lip was. Blake's got big lips, and she has Blake's lips.
But she also did this creepy little thing where, like, she had her eye open, and she was, like, moving her eyeball around.
Oh, she was staring at us.
And, like, blinking, and it was weird. Like,
it was
she looked
creepy.
like scary movie stuff in there.
It was a jump scare. You know what I'm talking about from TikTok?
Why did you say that before that? Say it again.
Oh, jump scare.
Why do you say oh?
That's the sound anyway. Okay, she doesn't care.
I don't know what that is.
You cannot fit your own clothes. Your clothes are getting to where they don't even fit. You have to go buy new clothes. I was one of those types of people. I did not want to buy maternity clothes. I wanted to wear my clothes, and I did until the last, 5 weeks. I had to go buy I bought 2 pairs of shorts, and I bought, maybe a few shirts, but I think Mama gave me a couple of her shirts that I could wear. And your bump seems like it has grown out of nowhere. And that's what mine felt like. It got really heavy. She was sitting on my bladder. I had to pee all the time. Then I'm drinking a ton of water because all I'm craving at that point in time is water. Let me go back also. That whole pregnancy, I had not really craved anything except maybe tomatoes right after I got hungry again. So, sometimes people don't get pregnancy cravings. But I really hated when people ask, what are you craving this week? Have you ate ice cream with pickles and peanut butter yet? And I was like, no. That's weird. I didn't have any cravings. So, anyways, that is that. Alright, guys. So, I think that just about wraps it up for us today with the pregnancy, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And we appreciate you listening and hope you learned something from KateLynn's experience. And maybe you'll learn something from the next experience. And the one after that one, too.
Yeah, it'll be pregnancy, birth, and then postpartum, all 3 right there together. So, also, make sure to check out our form in the show notes and in the people that are watching's case. Check them out in the description of our YouTube video. We're going to have our form for our birthdays for all of our listeners out there that want us to shout you out on your birthday on the audio podcast only. Fill out that form. And then we have another form that is called Beyond the Pod. So on that form, you can just share your experiences. You can tell us about something. You can ask us questions for advice. Really anything that you want to put in there.
And it will be anonymous unless you tell us not to make it anonymous.
Yes, you have to put your name on it if you want us to know about it, because it will come in anonymous. So don't worry about,
any of that.
Yeah.
Also, check out our Instagram. We put exclusive clips on there. We put bloopers on there. We actually did a Just Dance video the other night that we'll be adding to that. So,
yeah. And we'll have pictures from what we've talked about today on the podcast. They'll be posted on Instagram also. So make sure to check us out there. Like, subscribe, leave a written review, and we'll give you a shout out. Leave us 5 stars. If it's less than 5 stars, don't even give it to us. Move on right along without that. So, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Beyond 21 with KateLynn
and Kallie.
What's up, y'all? It's KateLynn.
Oh, this is Beyond 21
with KateLynn and Kallie, and this is the Beyond 21 podcast uncut.
Okay, I was about to say, I know you're not going to keep this.
That's why we're getting crazy up in here. Anyway, so welcome to our very first video episode.
Are you keeping all this?
Yes. It's uncut. That's the joy of the video podcast, is that you don't get this on the audio podcast.
Okay.
So is it recording?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see the red button, so I don't ever know. Okay. So, before we get started here today,
we have 2 special guests with us.
Yes. I would like to introduce Rockford. This is Rockford. And what's yours name?
This one's name is Kevin.
So Rockford and Kevin will be in the video somewhere every time. So for now, Rockford's going to sit over here to my left.
And Kevin's going to sit on my left.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit unhinged, like the whole entire thing. Because we're going to be trying to make you guys a good, funny video while we're also trying to record a serious podcast. So, Are you ready to get started, Kallie?
I'm ready to roll, buddy.
Alright.
I've never been
More
ready in my life.
Okay.
The button!
Oh, goodness.